The storm raged on, the waves crashing against the sides of Jack's small sailboat. The wind howled fiercely, threatening to capsize his vessel at any moment. Jack held onto the wheel with all his strength, his heart pounding in his chest as he struggled to keep control in the midst of the chaos. And then, with a deafening crack of thunder, a massive wave rose up before him, engulfing the boat in its icy embrace. Jack was thrown overboard, tumbling through the churning waters until everything went dark. When he finally regained consciousness, he found himself lying on a sandy beach, the sun beating down mercilessly overhead. He slowly rose to his feet, feeling disoriented and bewildered by his sudden change in surroundings. The once majestic sailboat was now a wreck, scattered in pieces along the shore. As Jack took in his new surroundings, he realized he was stranded on a deserted island. Towering palm trees swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves whispering secrets of the island's mysteries. The sand was warm beneath his bare feet, and the sound of seagulls echoed in the distance. Jack knew he had to come up with a plan if he was going to survive. He searched through the wreckage of his boat, salvaging what supplies he could find: a tattered sail, a few cans of food, and a length of rope. As the days passed, Jack worked tirelessly to fashion a makeshift shelter out of driftwood and palm leaves, using his survival skills to navigate the challenges of island life. One day, while exploring a dense part of the island's jungle, Jack stumbled upon a grove of ripe mango trees heavy with fruit. His stomach growled in hunger at the sight, and he realized that this could be his ticket to sustaining himself on the island. With newfound determination, Jack crafted a makeshift spear from a sturdy branch and sharpened it with a jagged rock he found nearby. He carefully approached the mango trees, scanning the area for any signs of danger. Slowly and steadily, he aimed his spear at a cluster of mangoes and took a deep breath before launching it with precision. The fruit fell to the ground with a satisfying thud, and Jack's eyes gleamed with triumph as he gathered his freshly caught meal. As days turned into weeks, Jack honed his hunting skills, learning to fish with a spear and setting traps for small game. He grew more adept at finding edible plants and roots, gradually becoming more self-sufficient on the island. But despite adapting to life on the island, Jack couldn't shake the yearning in his heart for home. He missed human interaction, the sound of laughter, and someone to share his victories and struggles. As he watched the sun set over the vast expanse of the ocean each evening, he felt a pang of longing for the life he had left behind. One evening, as Jack sat by a crackling fire on the beach, staring out at the shimmering horizon, something caught his eye. A thin tendril of smoke rose in the distance, dark against the fading hues of the sunset sky. Jack's heart leaped with hope at the sight. Could it be my rescue ship? Jack scrambled to his feet and grabbed a makeshift torch he had fashioned from dried reeds and driftwood. He waved it frantically, hoping to catch the attention of whoever was responsible for the distant signal. But his efforts seemed futile against the vastness of the ocean and the dwindling light of dusk. As the island fell under the cloak of darkness, Jack's spirit sank once more. He knew that he was truly alone, with nothing but the sound of crashing waves and rustling palm trees to keep him company. Despite his dire circumstances, Jack refused to give up hope. He continued to think about his loved ones and what he would do once he managed to escape the island and return to civilization. In the meantime, he focused on surviving and finding a way back to those who mattered most to him. One night, Jack sat by his small fire, roasting a freshly caught fish over the crackling flames. He heard a sound in the distance. It was a faint yet unmistakable noise, the distant hum of an engine. His heart leaped with hope as he scrambled to his feet, peering out into the darkness. The sound grew louder and more distinct, echoing through the trees of the island. Jack could hardly believe it. Was it possible that a rescue ship had finally come for him? He hurried to the highest point of the island, clutching a makeshift torch to signal his presence to whoever may be approaching. As he reached the peak, his eyes widened in disbelief at the sight before him. Emerging from the misty horizon was not a rescue ship, but a massive pirate vessel with tattered sails billowing in the wind. Fear gripped Jack's heart as he watched the ship draw closer to the shore, its ominous silhouette casting a shadow over the tranquil waters. As the pirates landed on the shore, Jack quickly extinguished his torch and darted into the thick jungle, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew he had to hide, to wait until they were gone, before he could even think about escaping again. The pirates' voices carried through the night air, their laughter and shouts making Jack shiver with unease. He found a dense thicket of bushes to crouch behind, barely daring to breathe as he watched the pirates fan out across the beach, their boots crunching on the sand. They seemed to be searching for something, or someone. Jack prayed they wouldn't find him. Hours passed like an eternity as Jack remained hidden, every rustle of leaves or snap of a twig making him jump. Finally, just as dawn was breaking over the horizon, he heard the pirates boarding their ship once more. Relief flooded through him as he realized they were leaving. Luckily, the pirates did not find Jack's shelter as it's on the other side of the beach. But as the pirate vessel began to sail away from the island, a sinking feeling settled in Jack's stomach. He knew that with the pirates gone, his chance to escape with them had also vanished. He was once again alone on the island, with no way to leave and no idea of when, or if, another ship would pass by. Time has become blurred for Jack as weeks stretch into months on this island, and he's lost track of how many days have passed. One particularly scorching afternoon, as Jack sat under the shade of a sprawling palm tree, he noticed a glimmer in the distance. Squinting against the harsh sunlight, he could hardly believe his eyes. It was a speck on the horizon, growing larger by the minute. His heart leaped with hope as he realized it was a ship approaching the island. Frantically, Jack scrambled to his feet and rushed to the highest point of the island, waving his arms and shouting at the top of his lungs. The ship seemed to change its course slightly, and Jack's hope soared even higher. Tears welled up in his eyes as he watched the vessel draw nearer, each wave bringing it closer to his salvation. As the ship finally came into view, Jack could see the crew on deck peering through spyglasses, likely trying to discern if anyone was stranded on the island below. He continued waving and shouting, his voice raw with desperation and relief intermingled. To his delight, the ship's crew spotted him and altered their course, heading straight for the island. Jack couldn't believe it. After all this time stranded, rescue was finally within reach. His heart pounded in his chest as the ship drew closer, its massive sails billowing in the wind. As the ship anchored near the shore, a rowboat was lowered, and a group of sailors rowed towards the beach where Jack stood, his eyes shining with tears of overwhelming joy. The sailors helped him aboard, offering him fresh water and food, their faces filled with kindness and relief at finding a survivor. As the ship sailed away from the island, Jack stood on deck, gazing back at the place that had been his home and his prison for so long.